Good morning. Hey, if we all gather around, we're going to start our 0700 operational briefing here. First, I'd like you to turn down your radios and any conversations, just keep out of the briefing area. I'm Rick Luke, Planning Section Chief, California Incident Management Team 5. Our Incident Commander is Rick Young. And a couple notes, 305,240 acres, 44% containment, and 3,675 are working on this fire. With that, we'll do the last night's update with Matt. Shannon.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Shannon Prather, Operations Trainee with California Team 5. So yesterday and last night was a really good day on the fire. Got a lot of good work done. We'll start down over here into Zulu X-ray country. Mop-up is going really well, really quiet on the fire yesterday. One minor injury on the fire, allergic reaction, was about the main action down there. They're pulling hose out to the line, so all the interior hose is getting pulled out, which is a good sign on there. Moving around down into Whiskey Victor area, small little chunk of red on the map there, going to hit that hard up in Burro Mountain area, and that's going to be the last really big chunk to go mop up in Whiskey Victor. Coming around the map up into Sierra Union, pretty active day out in there yesterday and into last night. Had a little rollout above Shaver Lake on the road going on the north side of Shaver Lake. About 100 acres or so spilled out. They mopped that up. It's looking really good. Holding. We'll get in there and start working on that today. Coming around Sierra, pretty quiet yesterday. A lot of good mop-up done. Got hose lays extending in onto the line, making those connections. Crews are in there mopping up really well, and held everything really nice last night. Moving up into Huntington Lake, really quiet in Huntington Lake, nothing to speak of really. Yesterday there was a little flare-up and some blowdown on the northern end of Huntington Lake. Crews were able to get in there and calm that down and mop it up. Moving up into Division November up here, everything's holding really well up here on this Ridge Road. One or two spot fires yesterday below it. Everything's holding in place really now. Quiet night last night. So good job yesterday, guys, and have a good shift.
Thank you, Shannon. Next, we have weather with Mark.
Good morning. Mark Pellerito, IMET. What if I told you that you can make a spot forecast? I mean that. The weather pattern is getting stuck, high pressure getting right over us, and so what that means is that the winds are just going to go diagonally, sunny side up, sun hits the slope, starts heading up. Once the shade hits, it starts going down slope, and then at night, down canyon. And there's not going to be any other drivers of the wind. So if you're going to your same piece of ground every day, pay attention to what's going on today, and you can pretty much expect the same thing tomorrow and the next day. And there's your spot forecast, right? And I can tell you, what I think the wind's going to do, but you know your piece of ground better than I do. Be your own weather expert for your piece of ground. All right, but for the general weather, for our complex, or for our fire here, it is once again hot and dry. It is actually 80 degrees right now at the San Joaquin Canyon bottom. And the RH is in the 20% range. We had modest recoveries overnight, 20s and 30% RH. It's going to dip to mid-teens to mid-20s RH by late morning before just, again, a very modest recovery this evening and then falling overnight tonight. Recoveries will be getting worse, and that's the one thing that is going to be changing day by day, is that the recoveries will be getting a little worse each night. And the inversion, which we have a stronger inversion than we've had the last couple days, but it's not strong yet, just stronger. And so the inversion still hasn't really pressed in, and as it does so, recoveries will be getting worse in coming days. And once again, well above average temperatures the next several days. We're going to have 90s at the lowest reaches of the fire to 80s mid-slope, and then when you get to the higher reaches of the fire, in the 70s for today. Winds gusting no more than 20 miles per hour, sustains staying in the single-digit speeds.
Thank you, Mark. Fire behavior with Jeff Shelton.
Good morning, Jeff Shelton, Team 5 Fire Behavior. So what you heard from the IMET is we have a hot, dry, stable atmosphere. We're looking at temperatures going into the 90s and RHs in the teens. So we're looking at our probability of ignition unshaded, which we don't have a lot of smoke shading today, at 90%. If it's shaded, if we do get the smoke to fill in from a lot of this heavy material just consuming and putting smoke up there, we're going to go down to 60%. 60% is the threshold when we start having problems with spotting. So you're really going to have to understand where you are and look up at the sky. Just understand that if you can breathe better, so can the fire. So just be looking around for that. Now that we're starting off really low with the RH, poor recoveries, everything's going to be available early and throughout the shift. When we had our pre-ops meeting, the night shift was just reporting just nuisance after nuisance after nuisance, as that's in the middle of the night. So today, when we get sun on these fuels early, you can expect that to continue. They're going to have an active day out there. What I'm looking at is a moderate to intense surface fire, but this fire is looking for opportunity, and that's what we're seeing even at night, is the fire is consuming because we haven't had a good humidity recovery, we haven't had any rain, and there's none in the future. So unless you take action on the fire, or the fire runs out of fuel and fully consumes, it's going to sit there and it's going to be waiting for its opportunity. Opportunity in rollout. Opportunity to slowly creep through an area that is backing and all of a sudden finds a small slope reversal. Now, if that happens today with Pig and 90 and the fuels where they are now, especially the 1,000 hour, which is down around 7 or 8%, when it gets alignment, this thing will start to move and move with authority. Without the real strong stability, a day like today, until the stability builds in the next couple days, if it finds a little bit of a run, you can expect it to punch through this inversion, and then we're going to be off to the races a little bit. So the key is today, when you go out there and you can see now without the smoke, you have to identify where the fire is and where it's going to go and find alignment. And so please plan that out today. That's going to be super important. As this smoke starts filling in with the stable atmosphere, we're going to start getting some more shading probably in the next couple days. But today, until that inversion really sets up and locks that smoke and shades these fuels, today could be an active day. If you're seeing anything different than what I'm telling you, please find me, and my job is to customize this forecast and make it better every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Operational assignments and priorities. John Goss.
Okay, good morning. John Goss, Planning Ops trainee. So a couple things. We'll start with roll call, then we'll go over work assignments, and then priorities for the day. So for day operations, we have Alex McBath, Jim McDougall, and Shannon Prather's a trainee. For Planning Ops, we've got Don Fraguglia and myself. Okay, starting up at Branch 20, Ernie Villa, who is up at China Peak. We've got Division November, Papa Romeo, Vic LaFour, Jimmy Hidalgo, and Kim Olson, who are also up at China Peak. And then Branch 25 and 29, Mr. Bontrager. Sierra Union, Mr. Lowry. Victor Whiskey, Mr. Stevens. X-Ray Zulu, Mr. French. We've got a repopulation group, Mr. Bowman. Mitigation group as well, Mr. Fleming. And suppression repair, Mr. Wade. Okay. As far as work assignments for today, starting down in Branch 25 and 29, continuing securing, mopping up, holding. We did have, as you heard, we had some activity yesterday around the Shaver Lake area. So the folks in Branch 25 and 29 will continue to focus on, as our temperatures heat up, going after those unburned islands that are causing us some issues right now, as well as the folks down in Division Whiskey. I got a little bit of red, Division Victor. Got a little bit of red left on the map there to turn black there. Moving up to Branch 20. Different assignments here we've got. So Division Romeo, they will be holding and improving Division Romeo line there. Division Papa, it's the folks around Huntington Lake. So they're doing a re-entry today with the public there. So we're going to have some help from repopulation, Mr. Bowman there as the public gets back in. Also in Division Papa, they're looking at going on a direct piece there up into the Kaiser Wilderness. Moving over to Division Papa and November, my bad. Also holding that Kaiser Pass Road, making sure we don't have any more spots across the Kaiser Pass Road, and then continuing to look at some structured prep and mitigation for the values at risk out in the Kaiser Basin. High Sierra Ranger Station, Mono Hot Springs, the Vermilion Valley Resort. As far as parties for the day, we'll start SU as the number one party today. Again, when that stuff picked up yesterday, lots of dozer lines out there and about. So again, the focus party today is SU. Second party there is Division Papa and the folks going direct into the Cadre Wilderness, and also the tactical patrol within the Huntington Lake communities. And then third party of the day is Division November, holding that Kaiser Pass Road, and then finishing up that structured prep and planning mitigations in there. And as far as air ops today, still have a complement of helicopters available. Just coordinate with Aerotech. They should be up this morning. We do have a couple of helicopters in Mammoth as well. Have a good day.
Thank you, John. Our incident and management objectives have not changed. Ensure that you review those in your division breakouts. Next, we have safety.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Brian Savage, Team 5 Safety. Hey, so what I'm going to spend a couple of seconds talking about is just risk. Doing the wildland fire thing, everybody going out the line, the work is inherently dangerous. We all know that. My job is to ensure that I continue to have opportunity to remind you guys to not take certain things for granted that we do out there. There's certainly risk out there that we don't have a whole lot of control over if things are going to come down, like a snag, aircraft mishaps, some of those things that kind of just happen, and the operators and the people involved don't have a whole lot of control over preventing that to happen in some instances. But one thing I want to talk about is the driving and the hazards related to the driving. Every incident, there's a lot of firefighters that just drive too fast. They're in a hurry. I'm not sure why. I can't figure it out myself. It seems like every fire this year we've been on, it's something that I have to talk about. I say, hey, please slow down. Don't drive through the communities. We get complaints from the community because firefighters are driving so fast by their house, they think their kids are going to get taken out. So that hasn't happened on this incident as far as complaints, but I just wanted to let you know that we tend to take the driving for granted. So I just need to remind you to slow down. There's a lot of bad spots to go over the side, and we don't want any mishaps. There's a whole lot of repop going on. The public's continuing, their presence is going to continue to increase, and they know the local roads and they drive too fast. So we don't want to be part of that problem. We don't want to be involved in that. So do us a favor. Please don't be in a hurry. Please don't take the driving for granted. Expect the unexpected out there, and hopefully we can prevent a mishap by being on top of our game and paying attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Medical.
Morning, everybody. Jeff Carlin, Medical. So plan remains the same. We are starting to get slow on some resources. But let's take a moment, if you guys don't mind. If you guys are unfamiliar with the 8-line, it's listed on the back of your IAP. And what we're looking for is get familiar with it. So when you do have a medical emergency, you're following the 8-line. Because when you guys call that in, this is what we're going to be asking you for. So important, we need to know if it's a red, yellow, or green medical. And then who you are, where you're at, what you got, and what you need. By that, we're able to send the closest resources to you and then also get you the best treatment. As weather talks about, as the smoke fills in, air operations may not be an option for you, so it's important to know where you're at and who you got coming towards you. All right? So with that, be safe, and I'll see you tonight.
Thank you, Jeff. If you need communications, they're in room 5. If you need clothing, there's also a information on page 35 and 34 along with RSP. And next we have finance with Teresa.
Good morning, Teresa Fork, Finance Section Chief. Okay, in your IAP there on page 28 or 29 is a finance message concerning how we're handling the timesheets for both contractors and overhead. So please look at that. For those that are up at China Peak, we will have a person up there tonight to answer any of your questions and be there tonight and tomorrow morning. Thanks.
Thank you, Teresa. We have a read here. Oh, there you are, Jess.
All right, good morning, everyone. Joshua Corder, lead read. Just thank you again for continuing to work with the resource advisors out there. And I know, as we all know, sometimes a lot on the fire, we can see a lot of loss. But I want to bring some good news is that because of the fire, we've been able to find some new archaeological sites that we've never known about before. And from there, we can get to study those and let the Native American communities around here in on those areas of where their ancestors might have been hundreds of years ago that were just rediscovered. So even though there can be loss, there can be some neat discoveries found. So continue to keep working with the resource advisors out there, whether you think you might have found something or saw something along the way, because you never know what it could be and what it could mean, especially to the Native American community. Thanks.
Thank you. And our closing comments, Incident Commander Rick Young.
Good morning. So I know Safety Savage talked about it already, but I want to mention it again because fire season's been going on a while. I think we can see it in your eyes. You know, everybody's getting a little haggard at this point. Driving's a big deal. We're going to see increased traffic over the next couple of days as we continue to repopulate those areas, and we have several utility companies scrambling to get their infrastructure up and running. So I'm going to ask you guys to take a few minutes today to talk about driving with your modules. And even while you're out driving, talk about it. Just make sure you guys are keeping an eye on each other, keep those speeds down. Those kind of accidents happen fast, and we want to make sure we avoid them. We did have another public meeting last night, fairly well attended, and just a tremendous amount of outpouring for the work you guys are doing to try to bring normalcy back to this area. So on behalf of the community and Team 5, thank you for that. Your safety record's been outstanding. Keep that up. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, unassigned resources, meet in the back. If you're not on the IP, meet in the back there. Our division breakouts are posted. Next meeting, operations briefing is here at 0700. We have a planning meeting 17 and a C&G at 12. Be safe today.